How can a man go from having no sex to getting so much sex it would horrify their parents? Firstly, I'm not some 6'4" billionaire with a yacht with a chiseled marble jawline. I'm a guy who's coached regular dudes, some short, some awkward, some broke as all hell, into pulling gorgeous fucking women. So when I give the information in this video, know this: there are people who are succeeding with the information I'm about to give you that are in way worse situations than you are.
Ain't it different? I'll lick my ting on the lane.
Winner versus victim mindset. So what do women want that is in your power? The difference between those that figure this out and those that don't is they focused on what was in their power, not what wasn't. If you focus on all the things that are holding you back, you won't recognize all the things that you could be doing that would be improving your success with women. And many use those excuses to stop from trying at all. Honestly, many of my casual viewers, a lot of you guys are using your excuses to not even fucking try. So let's change that focus for you. What do you have control over? Yes, women like masculine traits. They like a leader. They like a man that can stand his ground, a guy that has his own internal belief system that doesn't need external validation from the outside world. To be disagreeable when it's necessary, and understanding and being socially intelligent enough to understand when it is necessary. Women prefer a guy who's extroverted. Women prefer a guy who is social, who has friends, who's popular, who is skilled, who's desired by other women. And these are all things that you can work on. This isn't anecdotal. This is scientifically proven to what women want and what you have control over and what you can change about yourself. None of these things I just listed are set in stone for you. You can change them if you so want to, given you take consistent, intelligent effort in that direction. With that being said, I never want to hear you murmur an excuse ever again. I want you to take on a winner mindset versus a victim, focusing on what you do control, what you do have power over, not that which you don't. If you believe you're below her, you will be. You'll act like it. You'll have shrunken posture, lacking eye contact. You will be building rapport, trying to get her to like you, as opposed to just being in your element, being a man on his purpose, being a man who doesn't need anything from the girl. Attraction is repetition. You don't get a better body by not working out, by not eating cleaner. And in the same way, you're not develop social skills, you're not gonna develop these abilities unless you get yourself out there. And that is the same thing here. Stack the reps, stack the consistency. Courage comes from acting like you have it before you do. It isn't something that materializes for those select few. It is a byproduct of the actions you take today, of the habits you build from the consistency of those actions, and the character you have because you have those habits in place. Chapter number 2, you can't sell a garbage product. You're competing whether you like it or not. Women don't look at your value in a vacuum. If you were on an island with a girl for years, you'd become the sexiest motherfucker to her. But you're not. You're in society, and so you're competing against a lot of different guys. You're competing against a wide selection. And so you have to work to become a better product. You have to do what 90% of those guys were unwilling to do. You have to take the actions that 90% of guys were unwilling to take, and take it with consistency. Not just a one-off, not just a one-time thing. This is your new reality. You are a guy who hustles. You are a guy who puts in the work. You're a guy who decides that I want to be different. I am not going to be this person a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I am not going to stay the same. I'm going to evolve and become better. Too many guys do cold approach pickup or try to improve with the opposite sex, but they want to stay the exact same guy. You want to keep the same habits, the same mindsets, the same beliefs. But if you want a different result, you can't stay the same person. You have to change. Ask yourself this: is the current version of yourself getting results? And if the answer is no, why are you defending him so hard? Why do you have to be this person? Why do you have to embody this character? Now let's get into internal game. I want you to visualize the guy that gets the results you want. How does he move? How does he speak? What habits does he have? What skills does he have? Now, how do you speak? How do you move? How do you come across to the average everyday person? I used to study celebrities. I used to study people such as Thomas Shelby from Peaky Blinders on his stillness, because I found in myself that I was very fidgety. I had a hard time with relaxed eye contact. So I studied his body language and I embodied him for a couple months. Then I wanted to work on my delivery for jokes. So I studied Ryan Reynolds. And this massively leveled up my charisma in social situations. Now I want you to start becoming him. I want you to, in little ways that you can handle, working to become that individual. So let's say you wanted to work on the stillness of Thomas Shelby like I did. Focus every day in every conversation being stiller, more grounded, having better eye contact. Hammer it into the earth until it becomes habitual. Then once it becomes habitual, move on to the next thing and work on that. Maybe you're somebody who finds that you have a difficult time expressing your opinions. Go through a month where you express them. Maybe you have a hard time with being disagreeable. Work on that over a course of a month. What traits in yourself are not considered attractive? And then target them, focus on them until they're no longer an issue, until they become a part of your identity and character. Now, as I mentioned before, extroversion is sexy. So you need to start being extroverted. Instead of deciding to hang out at your place and maybe work on your laptop, decide to work in a cafe. Maybe you make small talk with your barista. Maybe you decide, hey, I'm just gonna go to a bar tonight, maybe not with the intent of going and socializing, but just hanging out in a social environment. Start stacking the small wins. You stack enough small wins, you're gonna over time work your way into being an extroverted, outgoing guy. It's the actions that change your personality. It's the actions that change who you are. If you are somebody who is going out being social every week, the dumb thoughts that hold you back, such as I hate people, those mindsets that people can feel, the negative energy, the bad emotions, they'll start dissipating with time. You can't approach people and still hate them. You can't be social and still say fuck people. It's just not gonna happen. Your ego won't allow it. It'll be in disalignment with the actions you are taking. Your character will shift and change. Now we're gonna get into external game. Now this is not my forte per se, because I'm not really the grooming guru fashion guy, but I can give you guys some tips on this. Firstly, yes, grooming and fashion is non-negotiable if you want to improve in this. If you're not getting the results with women yet that you want, and yes, I do know guys who smell terrible, who don't care about their fashion and get results. Are you one of those guys though? And if you're not, this is something you should be working at until you get it figured out. Grooming, yes. Beard, yes. Trimming, yes. Making sure that you're wearing deodorant, brushing your teeth, flossing, working on your fashion. And when it comes to fashion, look at, again, celebrities. They have fashion professionals who dress them up for photo shoots, for everyday life. Look for the guy that has your body type. Look for the charismatic celebrity that has your body type and copy his fashion if you don't know where to go with this. Now, a lot of guys feel like their fashion is their identity, and that's not true. You're gonna be like, that's just not me, and that's why I don't dress that way. There is no such thing as you. Actually, to be fair, changing your fashion will actually give you more of a boost of confidence. I used to be a guy who would wear clothes that were 3 sizes too big because I hated my body. I used to love the color gray because I thought it garnered me less attention. And I also felt that if I dressed in a way like I cared about myself, I would look like a poser. Some of these excuses might be resonating with you at home right now. As a guy who has thought all those excuses and somebody who's moved through them, they're all bullshit. They're all bullshit. Fashion is not a big deal. Changing your fashion is not a big deal. And if anybody does give a fuck, who cares? Would your future version of you care if somebody didn't like the way you dressed? Would he give a fuck? Would the guy the girls go for give a fuck? If the answer is no, you shouldn't either. Hit the gym, not to get a six-pack necessarily, but to raise your energy, to raise your confidence, to be a man of action, to be a person that takes care of himself. This will feed into your confidence no matter what you do. If you work at yourself, if you are somebody that decides to put a stand to junk food, to not jogging, to being inactive, you'll find that your life becomes tenfold better in the process of working on your body, of working on your health. The last part of this external section that I want to mention is skills. I've mentioned this quite a bit in my most recent videos this year, and skills are sexy. Skills are attractive. Skills are things that women gravitate to. Are you good with guitar? Are you somebody who's good with money? Are you somebody who has great social skills and is very good at making friends? These skills are sexy. Develop skills that women will find attractive and will raise the value of the product that is you. Chapter number 3, marketing the product. Now, we've talked a lot about improving the product that is you. Now we need to talk about marketing it, because it doesn't matter how good the product is if nobody knows it exists. And we need to expose you to a wider audience. Now, as I mentioned in videos before, there are 4 funnels, 4 different ways that I've seen men get women. And the first one is through dating apps. Curate photos, A/B test those photos, rate them on Photo Feeler, hot or not, ask girls, is this a guy that you would swipe right on? Why don't you like this? Why do you like this? Study your competition. Go through your female friends' dating apps. Look at their top picks. How are those guys arranging their photos? Now, I'm gonna tell you guys the new modern day strategy right here, right now. The best way to set your profile up to get swiped right on. Okay, so it used to be 4 photos. That was kind of the idea. Every person that ran the dating app said 4 photos was optimal. Now that isn't the case. Now we have AI produced photos and women don't trust it as much as they used to. So now the number is 5 or 6 photos that you want to have in your repertoire. Now the first 2, yes, you want to be professionally taken, great photos that show good energy. Your final 3 photos should be casually taken where you still look good, but don't look over processed, over edited. They should be natural and easygoing. If your 4 first photos are really well rated and really high quality, your 5th photo should be a character photo. It should be something where you're being goofy, playful, having fun, just to show the girls that you're not stiff, so they can imagine how you'd be on a date with them. This is the one that I spent my 15-year career working on. Cold approach pickup. Approach girls at bars, coffee shops, clubs, going into the streets where there's a lot of women, but you generally speaking want to go somewhere where there's a lot of women, because you're not going to be good at this at first. You're not going to be amazing with the opposite sex off the first hello. It rarely happens. You say hi, you fail, you write a journal, you learn from your lessons, you try to stack the reference experience. As my old mentor once said, a lot of guys will not put critical thought into their cold approach, and this is the worst mistake you can make. This is why you have to journal. This is why you have to get coaches. This is why you have to think critically. If you're doing the same thing every time you go out and you're not getting good results, you shouldn't be surprised that you're not getting amazing results. You're only going to do better when you try new things, and sometimes they might not work out. Sometimes they might fall flat on their face. But on occasion, you're going to find a way of being or things to say, or you're going to develop certain reflexes that increase your chances of attracting an attractive, cool girl. And another thing I see guys get wrong when they do this cold approach thing is they only approach attractive women. Approach everybody. Approach ugly girls, old women, guys, couples, approach all. You're trying to harness and you're trying to polish your social skills. And not to mention, by approaching all in an enclosed environment, it'll make it look like, one, you're not a guy who is just there to approach girls and pick off the drunk ones. It looks like you're somebody who is just there to socialize. You're an upbeat, outgoing guy who just loves people. And that's a very attractive thing for a girl. Not to mention, you also build out your social circle, which we mentioned before. A guy who is popular is tenfold more sexy to a girl. If you're a guy who goes into a venue, knows the bouncer, knows the bartender, who has people there he might have talked to before and who are excited to see him, that is very sexy to a girl. Which takes me to the third one, social circle. Your network is a multiplier, and the girls that are in your social circle are going to be more down to have sex with you. They are more comfortable around you versus a random stranger. When you're a guy who's cold approaching, it is more difficult to get a girl into you because she doesn't know you. She doesn't have that much experience with you. You are a complete wild card, and girls are very weary of risks versus men who are very big risk takers. But because you are a guy who has cold approached, you'll have better social skills than anybody else in your social circle and will naturally become the leader. You will naturally navigate the social circle better than anybody else in your friend group because you are the guy who decided to do cold approach. Build it up, take people on hikes, throw parties, invite people to events. Say, whenever you're going out to the club or the venue, hit up all your friends, be like, hey, I'm going out tonight, you gonna come through? And have a vision of who you want as friends. So when the guy that might potentially be your friend, who might be your best friend, comes along, you don't not notice him. He's aligning with everything that you have written down, everything that you thought you wanted in a friend. This guy's 100% lining up with that. So, this is a guy that I need to follow up with, which takes me to my final point, Instagram. This is your visual resume. This is your landing page for both women and cool guys. When a girl lands on your Instagram, she should, if you set it up right, it should make her even more into you versus the latter. And I'm not talking about necessarily followers either. I've set up profiles that only have over 200 followers, and those profiles, those Instagrams, were closing deals for the men that I made them for. Again, going back to dating apps, if you're somebody who's been working on their photos, you should have good photos to put on your Instagram. You should have photos where you look really good, where you look natural, where you're not looking try hard. Now, here's the cool thing about all these different pieces. As you can tell probably now, they all interconnect and work together. If you're somebody who has a big social circle, That will help out with your cold approach, with pre-selection, with having cool friends. If you go out with cool friends, the girls that you cold approach will be more likely to like you. If you're somebody that does cold approach, you'll be somebody who is more comfortable and calm when you take photos. You also have an intuitive sense of how to take the photos because you have an ability to know, oh, I'm having awkward body language right now, I need to fix that. Or how to get yourself in a good, happy mood for the photo. Or maybe because your social circle, you have a friend who has a good camera, or you guys go maybe boating, and now you have an event or something where you guys can take photos that you can use for your dating apps. Dating apps, you can send the people to your Instagram, cold approach to your Instagram, social circle to your Instagram. You can manage your social circle better, but they all work together really well. So if you're a guy who's only using one and you only like one of these particular 4, you are lacking on a certain return on value, as opposed to if you worked on all 4 at the same time. Chapter 4, the pickup pension plan. Now, this is something that my old mentor, RC Jeffy, used to mention. Now, because he was a guy who has been gaming for 10 plus years, he had girls that would come around years later to come see him in San Francisco. In the same way, you should be adding every girl, whether she likes you or not, to your Instagram. Maybe not every guy, but if a guy's cool enough or you think that he might have potential, add him to your Instagram. The idea behind this is that maybe even like a girl might not be ready in the moment to sleep with you. Maybe she's still having a complicated situation with her ex, or maybe she just recently went through a breakup, or maybe she's mad at men in the moment, or maybe it's just bad timing. She's working a lot. Well, if you add her to your Instagram, at some point the timing will be right and you'll be there ready and waiting. Now with dating apps as well, you have to understand your area. So with Las Vegas, my Instagram is Las Vegas Lost Boy for a very specific reason. So when I add people onto my Instagram, they know where I live. I also, on my dating apps, will provide that I live in Las Vegas because I know local girls don't like dating guys that are not from Las Vegas because they get fucked over by them. Your specific area has its own energy, it has its own ecosystem, and you have to know how to work that with each of these apps. With your Instagram, with your dating apps, you have to know how to work your individual area, and that's going to be very specific to you. And you will figure that out over time of, again, split testing, A/B testing, trying different things. Keep making posts, keep throwing up stories, keep engaging the audience that you have on your Instagram. Throw up really good looking photos of you. Maybe selfies that you worked on through FaceApp. Maybe you find a story that gets you a lot of responses from women, a lot of likes, a lot of replies. Save that post for later. And then when you get new girls into the funnel, put those girls into a closed friend group. And then from that closed friend group, you can post that story that has been proven to work. Now you're running this like a marketer. And lastly, for this section, don't ghost the girls. I don't know what it is with guys nowadays, but they'll get a girl's information and never text her. Never throw her a message after getting her information. Make sure you follow up with her so that you can more cement yourself in her mind, even if you don't have the time to hang out with her or she doesn't with you. Maybe she's, again, in the wrong place and time. Send her a message anyways to cement yourself in her mind so that maybe down the road, when things line up better, now she is ready to go on a date with you. Maybe she'll like your post to give you a hint. Maybe she'll even go as far as to reply to your comments. Maybe she'll go down the line and like all the photos that have been rated the best. These are all good signs from a girl that she wants to talk to you and she wants to go on a date with you. Chapter 5, the mental game is real. You'll never outperform your own beliefs. Catch the lies. If you're thinking I'm too short, think I'm compact and charismatic. If you say to yourself, she's out of my league, tell yourself, I determine my value. Nobody else. I'm the one. Your thoughts dictate your reality and what you get out of it. You need to rewire them for success. Again, if you don't believe in yourself, she won't either. What I would suggest to anybody with self-esteem issues or the chronic problem of being too humble, I always suggest the extreme self-gratitude exercise. Now, again, as it is extreme and it's going to be a little bit weird. If you're somebody who's watching this video right now, I would suggest doing it the second that I say this exercise and explain it. So here's the exercise. You want to hype yourself, again, from a place of gratitude in an over-the-top narcissistic way. So let me give you guys an example. I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm sick. Girls should drop to their knees and beg to suck my dick. I'm Genghis Khan. I'm smarter than Einstein. I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm a bad motherfucker. Now, the reason you say this is because your ego has a problem with saying good, positive, upbeat things about you. And again, your belief shapes your reality. If you're not somebody who believes in himself, those hot girls that you dream about won't be into you. You have to believe in yourself. And I mean to a point of being delusional. and which is why you want to do this exercise. This exercise actually breaks back your ego. If you're somebody who's too humble, if you're somebody who is too nice about his accomplishments, you're like, oh, I'm like okay looking. I'm not like bad looking, but I'm okay looking. Or, oh, I could be working harder, or I'm not that handsome, or I'm not that smart, or I'm not that great. It's going to show in your energy. So you need to break it. You need to develop confident, great self-esteem. And I found the best way to do it is to overcompensate in the opposite direction. If I just tell you to say that you are enough, you'll find your way maybe like right about here, but if you shoot all the way over here, you'll find yourself in a happy medium. You need to believe in yourself again. You have to. This is essential for a game. Why would a girl date you if you're not confident in yourself, if you're not confident in your product? If you do this for 10 to 15 seconds a day, you'll find that your confidence skyrockets in the weeks to come. The first week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week, you are confident as fuck. And that's only, again, if you do this with consistency. And just to kind of prove my point further, if you find that you're having a difficult time doing this, if you find yourself cringing on the inside, that's actually exactly what we're trying to attack. I'm trying to attack that part of you that feels like you're not allowed to say things like that about yourself. I'm trying to attack that part of you that says, oh, I'm just okay. Okay is not going to get the job done. Okay is not going to get the girls that you want. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself like you would a really close friend. You have to believe in yourself like you would any other icon, celebrity, etc., or you're not going to get the girls you want. Stack the wins. Let the results handle themselves. You want unethical levels of success with women? Build your system. I want you to refine yourself. Show up. Stay consistent. Stack proof in your favor that you are worthy of the women. Math over magic, reps over luck. Put in the work that 90% of the guys are not willing to put in, and you'll get the results of the top 10% type of guys. The guys that get the women that you want. Now, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. And if you guys are interested in coaching and actually taking this seriously, text me at 702-841-9909. And with that being said, peace.
Ain't it different? I'll link my ting on the lane. But I can't fly to the States, cause I got too much convictions. Apparently all I talk is prison, but I don't know no different. Cause I was in jail up north, went under the coalition. Fresh home, I bought coke and whipped out, I put some roses where my wrist is. You ain't never made their birthday cake from digestive biscuits. But I had to take lemon juice to a piss test. Every day I look up to the Lord, give thanks for all this.